Up next, we have Nathalie Garcia, who's a former holistic nutritionist who couldn't find a solution to meet her needs in her own health and wellness practice. She's co-founded Practice Better, a practice management platform created specifically for nutrition-based health and wellness practitioners working in private practice. Tonight, she'll be speaking about how the customer is almost always right. Welcome, Nathalie.
Hi, everyone. Sorry, I didn't really think this through. I've got notes, I've got a mic, and I've got a clicker. So luckily, I don't have very many slides. So as Maggie said, I am Nathalie Garcia. I am the co-founder of Practice Better and the CEO. So Practice Better, for those of you who don't know what Practice Better is, we help support health and wellness professionals, private practice nutrition professionals, streamline their work and their coaching. So as Maggie mentioned, I didn't have the solution I needed. So when I was practicing, I had this big hurdle. How do I maintain the back end workload that comes along with every new client that I had to work with? So who here saw a problem, right, and decided I'm going to create the solution? Okay, and it doesn't have to be tech. It could be if you're a health and wellness professional and you're like, hey, I used to have that problem. I want to help people, feel better, right? So I can attest to that. So today I really want to focus on bringing us a bit back to basics. So whether you're a founder, whether you're in tech, whether you're a health and wellness professional, I hope this resonates because it's a cornerstone of Practice Better's success, and I really wanted to make sure that you all know that this is at your fingertips as well. So the customer is almost always right. So we've adopted this philosophy at Practice Better, that the customer is almost always right. And what this really means is that when we get feedback from them, we listen, right? Whether it feels, oh my gosh, too personal, which it often does when you're a founder. It often feels too personal. They just didn't understand. But what we really do is we slow down and we take it back to the team and we sit there and we try to look at it from the user, in our case's perspective. So I kind of want to highlight just three key reasons. Very basic, and like I said, I hope this isn't too basic, but like I said, it's a goodie and it's a foundation of everything we do every single day. So for those of you who raised your hands when I said, did you have a problem that you decided you were going to solve, right? So I can attest to this was me. And at some point, if you're lucky, you stop being your own ideal client, right? And that's a really good problem to have. It's a great problem that you're building your business and you kind of start to get removed from the problem you set out to solve, right? So what do? How do you stay connected? Because the problem's not changing. Maybe it changes in certain ways, but the problem still continues. You just kind of get further and further away from it. So what we've really done is we've decided, early on, my co-founder and I decided we were going to do customer support. Oftentimes the first job you are going to hire out for because it's hard, it's never ending, but we committed. We consciously decided we were going to do customer support for a long time, and that really helped us build relationships with our users where they felt like they could come to us and tell us, hey, this is a problem I'm having, and then we could look at how do we solve that problem, right? Or they could tell us, which was like a dagger to the heart, was like, I don't like this. And I have to admit, we get those sometimes, right? And again, instead of saying, they mustn't have understood, right? They got it wrong. We think, what did we do wrong? Or what can we do better, right? So at some point, like I said, if you're lucky, you stop being your own ideal client, but you have to harness the experts that are around you in that particular space, which in our case are our users. If you're a practitioner, it's your clients or your patients, right? So you have to harness that. You have to not be afraid of it. And you really have to be open to taking that in, even if it feels a little personal, when they really don't intend for it to be. The second point, and this kind of leads into that, is product roadmap and development. So we have this great idea. We have this idea of where we're going, how we're solving the problem, and we start trekking along. But there's not just one way to the end, right? There's not one way to the end goal, whatever it is your mission is for your company. We have to be willing to change course. So the product roadmap and development piece comes from, again, and I don't want to be saying the same thing over and over again, but I cannot emphasize enough how important this has been to our success, is taking that feedback back to your team and making sure that every decision maker on your team has access to what your users are saying or your patients, right? Make sure that anyone making a decision knows what their pain points are, knows what language they're using, knows what problem they're trying to solve. It's something that we so easily, at some point, we think, hey, I'm the tech expert. But I'm not solving a tech problem. I'm solving their problem with tech. So letting them be a part of the development of your roadmap, it might already be on your roadmap, you know? We're not coming in here winging it. It may already be on the roadmap, but maybe it just means shuffling things around, reprioritizing when something's being released. And the one thing I really found is following up with your users or your patients, right? And letting them know that they inspired the change that you've released. Let them know, hey, you had this really awesome suggestion. I couldn't do it right away, but I've done it now. Thank you, and here it is. Let us know what you think, right? So let them know that they're inspiring you, that you're not oblivious to what they want, and that you're really listening. And for us, it's really helped us build a really highly engaged community. It's a community, and it's a really great thing to say because as a tech company, with the tech solutions that we use to support our business, I don't feel connected to those companies. But our users are so engaged with us, and we communicate with them regularly. We do webinars, and we do trainings and phone calls. Hey, how are you guys doing? We have a really engaged Facebook group. And that's because they want to be engaging with us. And honestly, that's probably one of the best parts. All these points are kind of going one into the other, but just to kind of wrap up, the third piece that I really think is so important is building trust and mutually beneficial relationships. So as we continue to tell our users, we value your feedback, we are making a solution for you, you really build trust. You build trust, one, the trust that you have for your users, that you feel like you can go to them and ask them anything you're unsure about. If you're unsure about what their issue is, ask them. But then you also build trust, they also build trust in you that you're going to develop the solution to their problem. So it's a win-win. So I just encourage you to take the time, oh, here's the awkward stand next to me. Take the time to listen, take it in, and listen especially to the criticism, even though it's hard, and just grow from it, learn from it, and let yourselves thrive because of it. Thanks.